We just taking off, man.
Let's do it.
New week, new episode, man. HasBeens Podcast, man. Episode 10, we back in the building. Short crew, we like the Clippers. I keep telling everybody. We like the Clippers right now, man. We can't, everybody load managing, man. We got empty seats in the building.
Oh, man.
But we gonna rock, man. Hopefully when we get to the playoffs, man, we not gonna go down like, we not gonna go broke like Jock. That's all I'm gonna say. HasBeens Podcast, episode 10. It's your boy Cam Will back in the building again for another week. Make sure you catch me everywhere, social media, HasBeens Podcast, Wild Card Sports, and of course, Cam Will made it. We done made some configurations. We made an off-season, mid-season acquisition, man. We got a new member to the pod, man. We got my boy Ben Miller. I don't want to tell everybody your real name. Bentavious.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't like to say Bentavious. I don't know, man.
Bentavious, that's how I'm rocking it. But nah, everybody know it's your boy Ben Bugatti. I'm here at HasBeen Wild Card Sports. I'm the new addition to the party. I'm here each and every week. So we about to have fun. About to take off.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
I'm just on it. I'm on it. HasBeens Podcast, episode 10. We got a special guest in the building.
Oh, man. Phenomenal woman.
Phenomenal. I mean, I had to get my background check. I had to speed it up. Normally I get more time, but I had to do a quick turnaround on this one, so I had to pay good money for this one. But, you know, we got her in the building, and I'm working off my phone today. And normally I got my laptop, but I'm working off my phone today, so don't be too mad at me. Don't be too mad at me. But we got I don't know if everybody knows, but Atlanta we got a nice, really dope culture scene, right? Mm-hmm. And in the midst of that culture scene, we got some athletic stuff going on out here. But I don't want to start too early. I don't want to start. But in the building today, we got a special guest, man, the voice of AEBL hoops, the voice of the McDonald's All-American Tournament.
That's correct.
MC for the WWE, MC for Cricket. Is it Cricket Wireless? I don't know what they go by now. Cricket. Let me just pull it up. Let me pull it up. That's it? I ain't messed up yet? We still tracking?
We still rolling.
Okay, I'm still going.
We still rolling, baby.
Co-founder. So this is why I'm super impressed by it. I want to talk about this more. Made for the W. Made for the W. Made for the W. I read the mission statement on your website, and a piece of it stuck out to me because it's kind of similar to what I'm trying to build over here with my brand. And I kind of read this to you real quick. Get to my notes. Bang. Bang, where we at? To build a go-to platform that embodied women's sports, sneaker culture, and cross-promotion for the WNBA. And for me, my passion and my drive to do what I do was me feeling like I wasn't given the opportunity as a person of color, as somebody who, you know, loved sports, who felt like my culture especially took sports to a level that, you know, made it a multinational, multi-billion, trillion-dollar, you know, industry. And, you know, people like myself are finding really, really hard to find opportunities in this space. So I wanted to create kind of a space to bring people that were of color that aren't highly represented together and broadcast their talents. So to see you doing something like that for women, especially in a time like this, and I've even opened my eyes to see kind of we need to protect women and elevate women and showcase what y'all do more. So it's dope to see that, you know, stuff like that was going on, and I'm glad that we're going to be able to talk about that today and put more people on game to what you got going on. So without further ado, I want to introduce everybody to Bria, and don't kill me. Bria Janelle, is it Janelle? No.
Yes,
okay. Okay.
Janelle, yeah.
Bria Janelle, man, everybody.
You 2 for 2.
Okay. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on here. I know with everything going on, I'm not really sure how I follow up that intro. I feel like you set the stage and standards like really high. So I hope I deliver on today's show.
That.
If not, then it never happened. Like
so humble, y'all.
So humble. So humble. She's Queen MC. I mean, if it's going down in Atlanta, she probably rocking the mic and she telling me I'm setting the standard. I feel good with you telling me that. So, man, from one talker to another, thank you.
MC building, man.
You know what I mean?
There we go. I'm high five.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on. We got to take a step back. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Right.
We got to do my moment of silence.
All right.
Moment of silence to our social media. Moment of silence to our followership. Moment of silence to the future. We need y'all help, everybody. We're building a platform here, like we said, man. I'm trying to put together a platform. Wild Card Sports, man, is going to be about bringing sports and our culture, man, and bringing it to one package and presenting it in a beautiful project. And in doing that, we want to put some of our best and brightest on Front Street and show everybody what we got, man. And
That's right.
we need y'all to support us, man. Tap in with us. And what we need, especially as a content company, we need the likes, we need the comments, we need the subscribes, we need the traction, man, because it's all algorithms today, and them algorithms gonna get our product in other people's eyes, man. And once they get it on them other eyes, man, I feel like what we gonna be bringing gonna be undeniable. So the only thing we need y'all to do while we keep bringing the heat is support. So for 1 second, I need you to pull out your phone, your MacBook, your tablet, your iPad. What else they using these days? Android. Whatever you using. Crank your dial up. Type in Wild Card Sports. Type in HasBeens Pod. Follow it, man. Bang the button, man. Man, just keep pushing. Subscribe. Wild Card TV on YouTube, man. For our listeners, man, the people who not watching us, go to your favorite podcast streaming app. Where you listen to podcasts at, man?
I listen on my phone.
What app you use?
Straight podcast. Straight the Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast. Bria, you listen to podcasts a lot? What app you use?
I do. I'm on Spotify.
Spotify.
I listen to my.
And I used to listen on Stitcher, but I'm back on the Apple Podcast. But guess what? Wherever you listen to it at, trust me, man, it's on there. Subscribe, tap in, man. Moment of silence. We're going to take a 20-second moment of silence for y'all to tap into our social media, and we're going to get it rocking.
Hey, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Push the goddamn button! Push the goddamn button!
All right, let's do it, man. Let's get into it, man. So we got our special guest in the building. Bria tapped in with us. Again, appreciate you for being here. I want to start at the very beginning, man. The first thing I read, you a former hooper.
Oh yeah. I hooped in high school. I won a state championship, and I played in college. So I got a little game to me.
So are you born and raised in Atlanta?
I'm born and raised in Atlanta. Like, I don't know where everybody else went, but I'm like Northside Hospital, like born here, raised here, went to school here. Like, I'm about as Georgia and Atlanta as it comes. And I'm like true to Atlanta because I root for every Atlanta sports team. And, in today's society, that's not the easiest thing to do. So, yeah, I am
right.
all about it.
We're going to definitely talk about the Atlanta sports scene. So you play high school ball out here. And where'd you play high school at?
So I went to Greater Atlanta Christian. Most people know it as GAC. So I won a state championship there in 2007. We went undefeated that year, and then we went to Disney World after that. So that was really like a really dope experience from the basketball side.
That's dope.
Say 2007. Is that is Mya Moore still hooping at that time? Was she still in high school?
Yeah. So we graduated the same year. Yeah, and she actually because I was nominated for McDonald's All-American game.
Oh man.
She actually played in the McDonald's All-American game, but we were in the same nominee class, and it was pretty cool. But Maya's doing Maya things.
I got a couple.
Phenomenal on and off the court.
She off the chain. Well, we already talked about what she was doing off the when she left WNBA to get. I forgot the dude's name. And then they end up getting married. We talked about that before. Jonathan Irons. Yeah, we had a whole conversation about that. That's a little weird. I don't even want to talk about that one today.
It's
I feel
pretty
like
cool, though. I mean,
it's cool, but then it just at the end is like, okay. We gonna just read the first couple chapters and then
right.
Yeah, because you know how you don't ever finish a book and sometimes it's where you stopped in the book was perfect. We gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here on the basketball side though, I got a friend that went to Stevenson and played against Mya Moore too, and she said she was absolutely the greatest thing she had ever seen, like play basketball. Like, so let people in, like, because one, I don't think that women hoopers, because I remember growing up, because I'm from Louisiana, I hooped against Simone Augustus when I was like maybe 15, and just remembering like how like smooth she was, and like she really had game.
That's my homie.
Oh yeah, she had game like just like all the dudes from the park. I'm like, hold on, and that was like the first time I was like, okay, there's definitely some females out here that got some game. So put people on game to like how good Mya Moore really is.
But not even just Mya Moore.
All these,
yourself as well, to be, in that category, to be right there at that pivotal moment in time, in high school. So just take us back to that point.
Playing ball in high school was definitely a different experience. Our team was probably we were the number one team in the state for our division. So I played in the Class AA, and it's very different when you play at like a well-known private school. We traveled, we played in Denver. We went to Colorado, played in the Nike tournament. So, we traveled a lot. We played a lot, but our team was actually better than the boys' team. So it was always dope, just to be able to play against some of the best like I went to school in Gwinnett. So like some of the best competition that Gwinnett County had to offer. And, we were smaller, like 2A, we were in 2A, but we still, we brought the heat. So my high school team, I think that's hands down out of like all the teams, especially my senior year, all the teams I played on, like between AAU and all that, that was probably one of the best teams I ever played on.
And one thing I would say, like, it's talent in all classifications, because I was from Dooley County High School. I went to a 1A school. So it's talent all around.
Okay.
Just because you AA, for any listeners, like, it's talent in all classifications in Georgia, from 1A all the way to 6A. So
were y'all in yeah. You got anything else? I didn't want to cut you off. I know it's kind of delayed.
Oh, no, you good. No, I was just agreeing. No, I was definitely disagreeing. We were very competitive, and like we actually played against Mya. Like, obviously we're in different divisions, but like in a tournament for Christmas, and I'll never forget. I was like, okay, she went to Collins Hill, which was like a 5A school at the time before they went like up to like 8A or whatever now. So like 5A was the biggest like conference or division, and we were 2A, so we played them in a tournament at Brookwood. Man, Mya was sick. They said she had the flu. I don't know if she had the flu, but she dropped 40 on us.
Had a flu game on you.
And that was like the game. I was like, yo, she had her own flu game. I was like, I don't know if she really had the flu or she was sick, but she was sick. So they say. And she had 40 points on us. And I was like, oh my gosh.
We're going to get Mya Moore in the pod. She's going to tell us about the flu game, and she's going to tell you. I remember it was in high school, man. I was playing these bums, man, and had a stomach bag, game 40. It was light work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a 40 piece. And I want to say she only played 3 quarters, but we're not gonna go there. I don't want to just add, fuel to this fire, but she was good.
Yeah, Mya Moore used to cook.
Yeah, nonetheless.
So did you play point guard, or did you play? What position did you play?
No, I was shooting
guard.
I was a 2 guard.
Okay.
So like I could actually like point guard wasn't my thing. I got handles, but I'm like, I'd rather shoot the rock, give it to me late in the game. Like, let me just do what I do.
Just a score.
So I was a smaller guard.
Okay.
Say it again?
So you got that scores mentality, Kobe mentality.
Oh yeah. Like Mamba mentality. Like, even if I shot an air ball, you couldn't tell. I was going back down next possession, and I'm gonna shoot that ball like I just made 3 threes in a row. So that was kind of the confidence I had when it come to basketball.
See, with me in basketball, I'm more of a utility player. I'm not gonna say I'm Never, no McDonald's All-American credentials here. I was more of a utility player. I'm a scrappy guy. I'm a guy that that everybody on the opposing team is gonna despise, but your teammates gonna love you. They gonna ride with you. They gonna talk about you. They gonna make people. They gonna be like, why they like him? Why they like him so much? I'm that guy. I'm the guy, good locker room guy. I get on the floor. I do all the dirty work. That's me. So
Okay.
I just want to put it in perspective. So when you hear anything I say, it's coming from a utility guy, and so I might not know. I might not know how I see it from your perspective. But moving on from there, what made you go from basketball and then step into the world of picking up the mic and being a MC, being the person in front of the mic? Because growing up, that was one of the persons who kept the crowd hype. And typically, and I'm just gonna say it was normally a dude. Right. It was just normally a dude. You go back to N1, the old baby, all that. They get the crowd hype. What made you say, man, that's my spot right there? I'm finna go take that.
Yeah, so for me, like I played basketball up to my junior year of college and I got hurt. And it was just like, what's next for me, And so I transferred from I went to Mars Hill College at the time. It's now called Mars Hill University. So I played basketball there and I transferred to Georgia Southern. And so for me, it was just like, I've never really lived that college lifestyle, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. When I was rewinding back, when I was a sophomore in college, I actually took a journalism course. And my professor said, hey, we've got a well-known speaker coming in. Would anybody like to interview? And now, mind you, Mars Hill was like a small liberal arts school. So it's probably like 3,000 students. And so for me, I'm like in the journalism class, I'm like, sure, I've never done interviews, but, I'm an only child. I love to talk to everybody and never met a stranger. So, we get to, she's like, okay, just make sure you have your questions prepared. Just like little generic softball questions. And get to the day of the actual event where I was getting ready to interview the speaker before she spoke. It just so happened to be Mya Angelou. Mm-hmm. And and talking to her, and I mean, obviously the interview, it didn't turn out how I thought it was going to turn out, but it was the best thing that ever happened. I cried most of it, so it was just kind of like in between tears. I got questions out, but one thing that she told me is that she said that there's something about you, your voice that was going to have the ability to change nations. And for me, being a young kid in college, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play basketball and I'm going to be a WNBA or play overseas. And that's how I'm going to change nations. And, she really became a mentor with me and it stuck with me up until she passed away. But, for me, so when I went to Georgia Southern, just kind of keeping that little thing in the back of my mind, it was like, okay, I know my voice is going to change nations because she told me that. And she told this to me and I didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was just like, okay, how do I make this a reality? And so I walked into the campus, like this building at campus, and I thought it was a television station because I'm like, oh, bet, my grandfather has a background in television, like I can, get into television and be good. And it happens to be a radio station. And this guy named DJ Decaf, he was like, yo, you're in my science class. Now, mind you, Georgia Southern has 40,000 students, and my science class alone had 500 in the auditorium. So he's like, long story short, he's like, yo, I do radio shows and hip hop show. I'd love for you to come on. So at the time, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I got, like people that I was playing with at the time, like, were coming up, going up to getting drafted in the NBA. And so I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I had, like Jared Jack, he was in the NBA at the time. Trey Tompkins was playing for the Clippers. So it was a bunch of guys that I knew that were like Jody Meeks that were getting drafted or played in the league. I was like, hey, we'll come on your show. So that's how I started to build it. And then at the time, it was like, well, shoot, let me reach out to some artists. So reached out to Wiz Khalifa. He came on. And this is like before they were like who they are today. So like Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, Currency. And I'm like, yo, like this is something like, this is really dope. Like, yo, like, I mean, I had people, so being able to see these artists, like this was back when Sean was in Atlanta, like sleeping on one of his homegirls' couches, so to see like where he's come to now is like really cool, but that was like one of my first like hip hop interviews. And so I was just like, I still felt like something was missing. So when I came back to Atlanta, I worked at Streets 94.5, which is an FM station here in Atlanta. And, for me, I was just like, the FM radio station is cool, but I'm still missing that sports, you know, and I was like, what can I do that's different, that is my own lane, you know, and that like I can still be around the game and not be sore every day. That was my biggest thing. It's like I still want to be around the game, but I didn't want to be sore because, you know, playing sports, your body's always sore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I met Ja at a radio event, who actually is the founder of ABL. And this is before it even started back in 2012. He's like, yo, I got an idea for you. I think this is dope. It would be super different. Like, you're a woman who plays sports. I don't know how many people know you play sports, but this is an opportunity for you to really expand, you know, like what you're doing. So what I did that same year is I went to New York and I went to every street ball league that ever existed in New York. So I went to Dykeman, I went to Rucker, I went to Rivington, I went to Hoops in the Sun. Like I went to every summer league just to understand the culture, because street ball derived from New York. You know, and of course it branched out to, you have the Drew League in LA, and you had the Shy League in Chicago, and then you go to, you know, you got Rumph in Philly. So I was like, and I didn't see a woman. And to me, I believe like it's hard to become something that you don't see. And so I was like, yo, I want to be that woman that's in the center of the court, that's talking trash, that I know basketball, you know. And so for me, that was kind of like the opening to what people see today, you know. And again, I have an understanding of the game of basketball. So a lot of people think I just pick up the mic and talk trash. I'm like, nah, like I did this, you know, for 18 years of my life. So, you know, to be able to be a woman and doing that, and just like the respect that I get from the, you know, the guys around the NBA is just like, to me, you know, that's one of the gratifying feelings, you know, to like when Kyrie played in our league, he came up to me, he was like, yo, he's like, I'm from Jersey. And if you know Kyrie, like Kyrie grew up playing street ball. He was like, yo, I've never seen a girl or a woman do what you do. He was like, honestly, I've never seen a man, especially in this era, do what you do. You bring your own flair, your uniqueness to it. So for me, it's just like stuff like that, you know, or like when their nicknames stick, or, you know, like that's just the stuff that just makes me be like, okay, like this is why I do this. And so that's kind of like a backstory as to how I got into AEBL.
Did you ever see yourself like coaching in the midst of that? Like maybe before you really
No.
kind of took off with the media?
No,
Gotcha.
no, heck no. I had Lou laughing. It was years ago we were talking, and so I actually coached his camp for a week, the Lou Will camp, and I'm like, yo, Lou, like you are my guy, but I cannot coach. Like this is, I don't have enough patience for it. Kids not listening. Like coaching is like, to me, like teaching. Like not everybody is cut out to be a coach, and not everybody's cut out to be a teacher, but golly, I salute every single person that can either coach or teach or do both, because I don't have the patience for it.
Definitely got to have a lot of patience. I juggle sometimes because I love sports so much, and I juggle with like the coaching and training, because I have a big issue with kind of trainers and how people have like monetized youth sports. So you're not getting, the kids aren't getting the best training. I also believe kind of I think they're working on their bodies too early. And I really want to get involved in that and kind of create a pipeline where you do it the right way. And we focus on actually growing these, you know, kids into good people in the sports, because you never know, honestly, when you 12, where your body's going to go. Because me, I was 5'2" all the way up until I'm 16 years old, you know? And then all of a sudden, a summer go by and I'm 6'1", 6'2", you know? And then another summer come by 6'3", 6'4", you know? And so what are we doing with a kid in the weight room at 10? Lifting weights, doing leg squats. So, you know, for me, it's like a itch I want to get in there, but I don't know if I got the patience, like you say, to really. I can't do it. So I don't know. I might choke somebody parent. I might bring back too much of that old school flair. They'll run me up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the parents are celebrities these days, so you know you have to have an extra little amount of patience for it, you know. So
for sure.
So real quick, I heard you you mentioned that you played ball up until your junior year of college, and then you had an injury. What injury did you sustain? What happened?
Ooh, so I tore all of my ligaments in my left ankle. So it was have surgery and possibly red shirt, or it was you have a 3.8 GPA, you can go back home, do what you want to do, and start to walk on your purpose.
Ooh.
So, you know, for me, it was like a no-brainer. It was just trying to figure out what school I was going to go to, you know, because I mean, I had enough credits to essentially graduate if I would have taken like another like summer school to graduate early. But I transferred back to Georgia Southern, one, because, you know, it was a great school, and two, they took all my credits. So I only had to take class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm not, I mean, it was like, anyway, because I was like, oh, I'm look at UGA. And they were like, oh, yeah, you have to start over as a freshman. So I was like, nah.
I was about to say, ain't an HBCU you gonna transfer to? Is they're gonna take about 2 or 3 of your credits, and then they gonna they gonna send everything else back. I'm like, what? I'm like,
yeah.
No, I'm not finna start.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Once look, I locked into that accounting degree about 3 years into it. I was like, all right, we just gonna stick this one out.
Right.
And here I am at 30 now. We're trying to change our career. You know, we gonna back into this career, and we gonna do it a little backwards. But not today is not about me. Today is not about me. So going back to the kind of the piece of the mission statement that stuck out to me, and it's a cross promotion of the WNBA. I think that's it's a needed conversation, and I think it's an overlooked conversation as far as, one, the wage gap, and how do I think it'll help the wage gap, and then how do you improve the overall WNBA product to improve the viewership so that you can, I don't know how to, I'm trying to, now I got to get back into my serious mode, like, so you can transition, I guess, these players into receiving more. Because, I mean, I clearly understand that the NBA is the cash cow, and they're bringing in just the levels of revenue they're bringing in aren't comparable now. But for what the women are bringing to the table, their skill sets and their craft, there can be more done to, one, improve the product, bring more viewers to the product, bring more attention, more revenue, more all to that situation, and then that'll allow them to get paid more. So I want to start with the first question with you. How do you, feel about the wage gap? And then two, what do you think would be like the first step to like improving that gap?
Right. So, I mean, as far as the wage gap, I mean, I think it goes back to the problem that we identified with Made for the W, is that, you know, it was a marketing issue. When players come into the NBA, they already have identities starting even back in high school and college. If I said Ant-Man, you already know that's Anthony Edwards potentially going, you know, he went to Holy Spirit. He played 1 year at Georgia. He was a top player in the country, and he's potentially going to be the #1 draft pick, if not #2, right? If I said Erica Wheeler, you can't spill off a fact. But I can tell you that she was a star at Rutgers. She went undrafted. She plays in the WNBA. She was the WNBA All-Star MVP, but now she's overseas playing in Russia, right? So I think what we did with Made for that W is we identified like, hey, these girls are marketable, but when you only have 4% of media coverage on television for women's sports, it's a problem. You know, so I think, you know, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's hard to become what you don't see, right? So we've known the NBA has been around for 70 plus, almost 80 years. Right. And the WNBA has only been around for 25, you know? So it's like, think of, you know, I'm 31. If I knew at, you know, even in college, what I know now, you know, think about like your grandparents, right? So the NBA I equated to your grandparents. And then when you look at the WNBA, you equate it to like where you are, or where a sibling might be, right? So the knowledge is different, you know, the exposure is different. Like also, you know, I think, and I'm giving you guys this backstory to bring it back home to my point, but with the WNBA, it's always been like, on the office side, it's just my opinion. I feel like it's been like a stepping stone to get to the next level. Whereas, you know, the NBA, like WNBA's had 4 commissioners in the past 10 years. Whereas the NBA, I can only name David Stern and Adam Silver, right? So I think it's more visibility. It's more sponsor spending dollars. You know, money talks, right? So I think in closing that wage gap, you know, you're not just going to be chilling on a Friday night and see a WNBA game on ESPN. You might catch it on ESPN you or ESPN News,
Right.
or ESPN Plus, but you're not going to see it on the main ESPN. So I think it comes back down to visibility, which is why we created our platform, because it is a marketing issue. So once you fix a marketing issue and you show how marketable these women are, it's the most diverse league. I mean, you're dealing with different sexualities, sexual orientations. You're dealing with, girls who don't look like your average soccer player or softball player. So, I mean, you're getting a wide variety of women, but when you really realize how marketable they are, the stories that they have, the business.
Uh-oh. You there? Kind of breaking up. Hold on.
Can y'all?
You're breaking up a little bit. Hold on. You're going out.
No.
I think you're back.
Let's try something.
I think you're back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah, we got you.
We back.
I'm back. I hear you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we good.
Okay. So yeah, so that's the thing I think, just to bring it back home, is closing the wage gap is solving the marketing issue. Because once you realize, like, hey, these girls are marketable, you're gonna put dollars into it, right? Like, you go to see Russ every night or LeBron every night because you're like, yo, he's bigger, he's the biggest player, he's the fastest player, he's the strongest player in the league, but what he does off the court, what he does on the court, what shoes he's wearing, what he's listening to, what he writes on, on the side of his shoe. So I think it's just once you start to get that same type of visibility and publicity for women, you'll start to see that wage gap close.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, because I believe that's like being here with the Atlanta Dream. It's like those ticket sales are not really publicized to know, like, hey, it's a game going on here. Dropping back to what you're saying, like that marketing, just hyping up the game, hyping up those dominant players so that you can sit around like, hey, the WNBA is coming on. Like, hey, let's get the wings. Let's make sure that we're here to watch them play. Us both going to Tuskegee,
exactly.
I was able, like, for me, being an athlete, I played football. I enjoyed coming to support the girls' game prior to the fellas' game. You know what I mean? Like, I got a kick out of that. You know what I mean? So I think it's just one of those things where, as a sports fan, if you like sports, you should still gravitate to those females and watch them play.
Exactly. Even speaking of the Dream, it's like they've moved 3 different places in the past 8 years. They were at Phillips Arena at the time. They went to Georgia Tech. Then they went back when it was now State Farm Arena. Mm-hmm. Now they're in College Park. So it's like, it's hard to continue to get your fan base to travel with you. And then the marketing side of it, when's the last time you've seen a billboard inside of 285 of the Atlanta Dream? Now, I know if I go to the South Side, I'll probably see one on a bus passing by on the humbug, but in the city, you're not going to see, the visibility. So, I mean, again, I feel like that's what closes the gap, is this visibility, and then telling the stories of these amazing women.
Right, and because I just remember one day I was it's kind of weird because I am a fan, and it's sometimes because I'm not just as tapped into women's sports as I probably should. I normally don't notice these young ladies until they get to the college levels. But I remember I played against Angel McCoughtry in open gym, and then just to see her at movie screenings and nobody notices her. I'm like, hey, that's Angel McCoughtry, and I'm excited to see her. But knowing that everybody else is not excited to see her, that leads me to my next question, where I think the NBA does a great job of promoting their players. Like you say, they've embraced the culture and the fashion, and like you say, allowing us to see what LeBron is watching and wearing and listening to. And they really promote their best players. And like you say, you don't even see, I never saw Angel the year she played here on a billboard anywhere in the city. I've been living here since 2014, you know what I mean? And so what do you think? One, do you think the WNBA is doing a good enough job at promoting their best players? And two, I just lost that question. Do you think I'll get back to it. Do you think the WNBA is doing a good enough job promoting their best players?
Ooh, I'll just say I think that there is room for growth. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think there's always room for growth with the league, and
I think it's a hidden. I think it's a hidden.
I ain't gonna push you too much. I ain't gonna make you piss nobody off. I do. I accept that answer right there.
I think it's a hit and miss at times. I only got like a couple that I just truthfully like follow or watch, like Della Dunn. I like to watch her play. Oh man, she's
off the chain.
She's a scorer though. You know,
Brianna Stewart. That's shout out to Brianna Stewart, WNBA champ, my favorite player, man. Yeah. I just had to throw that one out there. But yeah, like it just bothers me to see that they don't, like, for the best players, at least in my opinion, like, let's start there, because like that's kind of like, no matter what happens, no matter who's on the Lakers roster, no matter who's on other rosters, people are going to come and tune in to either see LeBron, cheer for him, see what he got on, see him lose, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I knew where to. I guess that's my next question. Where do you think the like starting point as far as like, not for women, because you know sometimes it's not on y'all to do it. What do you think it is some pressure on us? We should, because women spend shit tons of money on NBA players, they jerseys, the games, they buying their husband tickets, and they taking their sons and daughters to the games.
That's true.
So I feel like it is kind of a onus on us dudes, really, in a lot of these plights for women. What do you think for dudes you think is the next step to kind of put on us to help y'all get to that next level?
You know, I mean, I think it's just watching the game, you know, understanding, you know, wanting to know the players outside of the 10 that are constantly presented, right? So you could probably name me the 9th, 10th player off the bench from the Nuggets, or possibly the Hawks, or let's say Milwaukee. You can't name me the starting 5 for the Seattle Storm, you know?
Yeah. That's true. You got me.
Maybe you could be wrong. Or here's another. Name me the starting 5 for Las Vegas Aces.
Well, I know Aja Wilson out there. I'm through.
Exactly.
I'm a part of the problem. See, I'm willing to admit I'm part of the problem. But every day I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, no. So I think it's starting to, you know, just watch. It starts with watching the games. You know, once you watch the game, you realize how competitive they are. Then you're like, I want to go to a game. Then once you go to a game, and you really see the interactive experience, because like when the LA Sparks, I feel like have the best in-game presentation I've ever seen. I think theirs is actually better than the Lakers. And, you know, I was out in LA doing an event, and being at a Sparks game and just seeing like the electrifying atmosphere, I'm like, yo, this is better than a lot of NBA arenas that I've been in. And I cover the NBA, right? So I think it just comes back to getting that in-game experience. And then when you do, you start to, you know, look for platforms and things that support it, like, you know, Made for the W, you know, that really show the cool lifestyle component of, we show you everything essentially that you see on the NBA side, on the WNBA side, you know, and we've actually expanded to other sports as well. So, you know, that's the thing, it's interest, creating interest.
Okay, and let's talk about, because that was the next thing on my list, Made for the W. So I'm going to assume that the W stands for woman, but I'm a deep thinker, so I feel like you left that W there to mean multiple different things. Am I right or wrong?
You're exactly right. I think it's the W. It's almost like when people are like, what are your why? To me, because, you know, so it's myself along with 2 other co-founders, right? So the W, yes, the W is for women. But I'd like to take it, you know, personally a step farther and say, you know, what is, you know, people ask you like, what's the why that makes you cry? But for us, it's like, what is your W? Because, you know, I could ask, like, I interviewed Carmelo, and I was like, yo, when you hear Made for the W, what does that mean to you? And what he told me was not something that I thought of. You know, he was like, it's for the win. It's for that competitor that's like, you know, that is born to compete. And I'm like, okay. So let me ask somebody else. So then I had asked Michael Porter Jr. And I'm like, yo, what does Made for the W mean to you? He was like, it's a winner's mentality. So everybody hears that W and goes to a different place. It could be the win. It could be the women. It could be your what. It could be your why, you know? Whatever so it's really like, what does that mean?
When you see it, just what does it make you feel? Cool. Yeah, that's why I said. That's why when I looked at it. I had to stop because I wanted to like, okay, what was she feeling when she named it? Because it might not be because that's just how I process things. So for me, because I didn't,
the W is for, I mean, and that's what our platform is. You know, I mean, to give you a concrete answer, the W is for the woman. You know, I mean, everything that you want to know about the which is why we call it Made for the W. It's just seeing women in a cool light. But to me, you know, when I see Made for the W, like I said, for personal, it's like, what is your W? Like, what is that win within inside of you, or how do you define it? So we're gonna say it's an open interpretation. Just my personal thoughts.
So make sure y'all tap in one Made for the W on Instagram, www.madeforthew.com. Where else can they find you at? I mean, I just got to Twitter, so I mean not Twitter, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, so we're on Instagram, Made for the W. We're on Twitter, Made for the W _, and we're on Facebook, Made for the W. So, and then, like you said, the website, madeforthew.com. So, I definitely have to shout out my two business partners, Melanie and Sim. This has definitely been a great collective effort in coming up with the name, one, and then two, just seeing the vision, to life. So, I feel like the three of us have definitely done something special for the culture, and I definitely, like I said, gotta shout them out too, because they
yeah, definitely.
they're definitely the amazing co-founders, and it's been an awesome experience.
Yeah, and I think when I was doing my reading, one of them was a lawyer.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're in there.
Yes.
A lawyer, correct? One of them's a lawyer, and the other was a content creator, correct?
Yes, Sim is a lawyer and Mel is a content creator, and their backgrounds. Mel worked at NBA television, and Sim's worked with a plethora of athletes over the years. So yeah, we're not no spring chickens in this. Like I was about to say
that sounds like a dream team y'all put together, and it was just the right pieces, man. You had the right mix. You got the facilitator, you got the scorer, you got the rebounder, the defender, you got everything in there, man. So I was reading, I was like, oh yeah, they came with it. With the team, and then like you said, y'all grown now. You founded in 2017 or 18. Which one? Get me right. 2018. Mm-hmm. Started off with what it was you two. It was the two of y'all first, right? It was you and Melanie. And then I'm gonna call her the lawyer. No disrespect. The lawyer joined third.
We're gonna call it Sim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then next thing you know, 2020, y'all up to what you say, 25 or more. Some of the best, content creators, some of the best, just in their craft, just under one umbrella now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We have some amazing contributors, literally around the country and in the international, that contribute to make Made for the W what it is. Sim, Mel, and I run the triangle offense, but I'm telling you, we have some of the greatest teammates that I think anybody could ever have. And they're so selfless, and just like everybody has bought into the vision of, not necessarily the right now, but it's the long term where we're going, the potential, and as we continue to expand with it, it's just like, it's a beautiful thing to see, and the fact that you have that many people on the same page is, for this period of time, is rare.
Come on now. So I know how hard that is. I'm just getting started. I'm a little over a year in the game, and I'm still having trouble getting all these people here for a pod. You know what I'm saying? So I understand how difficult. That's why I say I'm super impressed with you all being able to come together, keep the vision, and then bring people in. And that's and for a vision like this, where it's hard to get a lot of people out of the bed for, like, I'm just going to be honest, because I've come so far with just kind of how I view women and how I treat women and how I just kind of look at the issues y'all face, and just like 5-10 years ago, man, what? Follow what? So it's just like, I understand how difficult that is to get people to kind of even tap in and open their eyes and open their ears and even give it a chance. So for y'all to be still going strong and growing like that again, congrats, more power, more blessings. We gonna definitely keep our eye on y'all. But I'm looking through it. That's why I said, like, I'm spending time looking through it. And like I said, to me, it feels like you say, this total package. Like, it feel like League Fits. It feel like Bleacher Report. It feel like, it feel like all those, like you say, those outlets that 4% of the coverage only goes to women, it feel like it's all getting embodied right here. You getting the kicks. I mean, and for me, I love women kicks, man. I'm a colorful guy, man. So I actually envy, and I think I stole a lot of my style from women. So it's definitely dope to be picking off y'all styles. I got just a one-stop shop now to come and just pick off y'all styles and find clothes that actually come in my size that I can buy that y'all got. But
there we go.
Can you? Because I hate telling people stories. Can you just kind of tell the listeners just a little bit more about your platform and just kind of where you are now and where you guys plan to go and where you see yourself in like impacting the game in, let's just say 2025.
Right. I mean, for us, it's really leaving the game better than what we found it. You know, right now we are in expansion season. So we started off with the WNBA. For the past 2 years, we covered the WNBA, and I think we've been pretty successful just showing how dope these women are. And I think you've seen the ripple effect of, you know, the other female outlets that have come, or like the other other platforms that have created women's divisions, just, you know, and really highlighting the WNBA. So for us, that's like the dopest thing. And I think just highlighting, you know, creating more awareness for other sports. So like right now, last weekend, we announced that we were expanding into softball, track, tennis, and soccer. So, you know, it's really just expanding that and being on the level of those, like you said, the Bleacher Reports and your League Fits and Slam and, you know, those platforms. And, you know, we have some really dope stuff in the works. I'm not going to speak on it yet, but really just, you know, being that go-to platform in elevating the culture for women.
I ain't going to lie to you. I'm sitting here listening to you, but everybody need to tap into this platform because it just show you, like, it's just a lot of dope shit that women are doing, that women are wearing. That it's just not getting enough. It's just not getting enough. So I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna definitely. You got my word. I'm tapped in. I'm locked in, and I'm gonna do everything I can do. One, to keep pushing the narrative because I was so trash at it before. Yeah. I gotta be 10 times better moving forward. You know what I mean?
But here, also people that are listening too, if they're tapped in, we're running. We are doing a giveaway right now for the Center of Gravity Jordan 35. So all you have to do is literally follow our platform, and then put your size, comment to friends on Instagram or Twitter, and you could be going home with a free pair of Jordan 35s, just like that.
Follow. I'm liking the post. I'm commenting my shoe size. I'm finna tag some friends right now. Hold on. Hey, P. I'm tagging you.
Free shoes.
Come on, man.
You ain't got to pay for shoes.
And I'm only tagging dudes because they need to be over here tapping in.
Tag me, so
there we go.
No, I'm not tagging you. Why would I tag you? She just told you. That's not. Yeah. Go tag somebody else. Yeah, I'm not letting them get off like that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so where we at? Yeah,
because like other than coming across you now. The only other female that I known that was out here that was covering sports was Mya Simone. I think she's been out here in Atlanta for like the last couple years, and she's been covering like women's sports and men's sports. So it's definitely been dope to like see women in the field for real.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Stay tuned. Once we get back to wherever, or not even getting back. Once we go forward to this new normal.
Yeah.
You're going to see some dope sports coverage. So, especially personally on my side, it'll be glad, you know, I'll be glad to finally get back out in the city and start hosting stuff.
Aren't you tired of telling people that? Because I'm so tired of telling, I got so much planned. This year then just blew me. I'm just like,
listen, if y'all come up like what I had like lined up, and everything that got canceled, you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
It's that moment when you had to cancel it.
Yeah, I'm glad that because, you know, sometimes just hearing somebody else going through it just make you kind of like feel a little better about your situation. So I'm glad that you're not getting any, you know, what you need to get done now, but just kind of glad to hear that I'm not the only person over here just pulling my hair out trying to get back on the streets. I had so much
Yeah, man,
planned.
you really got to figure out how to. That's what the thing. Thank God that we do have Made for the W, but it's also understanding how to be, with your personal brand, just innovative and creative.
Right.
And as a creator, I feel like the world finally understood what it's like to be an entrepreneur and work from home. It's different. You have to be on your own set your own schedule. You have to be disciplined. You got to have time to eat if you're going to eat, in between meetings. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I felt like I was prepared for this pandemic because I'm like, yo, if I'm not on the road touring, I'm at home working, banging out on this keyboard,
Really?
So
I don't think they understand. I'm like you said. I don't think they like, because after I get done just with like one pod, like I don't think they understand like when you just done with this, like how much you gotta really do, what go into it. I'd be like you said, I'd be having to like really like, okay, I'm gonna eat at like 3:30 and then I'm gonna take like 5 minutes and I got to get right back to it. And you be planning your week out 10 days at a time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely a tough life, but and being stuck in the house and just like here all day, man, it's just I'm ready to risk it all. I'm ready to risk it all. Look, I'm starting to see the runs, people running. I was running from COVID. And I was like, hey man, y'all trying to hoop? I might get back out there, man. I'm scared. But I gotta let's see which one I want to hit you with first. I'm gonna come back to some relevant questions. I want to go through a rapid fire kind of some stuff that's going on in the world. See what you feel about just some regular sports stuff. So we gonna keep it style. We gonna start with style first, man. NFL. Jeff Garcia, Jeff Garcia went on to I think some type of 49ers propaganda radio and he talked real bad about my guy Cam Newton. And I don't know if everybody know I'm a Cam Newton fan, big time fan. I understand all his downfalls as a player. But my boy Jeff Garcia, man, he tried my boy Cam on a personal level. So I don't know if y'all heard the clip, but I'm gonna let y'all hear it real quick.
Into this game, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You throw, 3 more interceptions? You get yanked in the second half? There's nothing good going your way. Why are you dressing like that to bring more attention to yourself? I'd be trying to ask the equipment managers, put me in your jock sock cart and sneak me in the back door and I'll show up on the field and do the best that I can.
Jeff, this sounds like you're speaking from too much experience here, okay? This sounds like you're speaking from experience.
This just goes back to a couple years of just watching this guy and seeing him at the podium, but yet what he's doing on the field does not translate to being that guy.
That's Jeff Garcia on my guy Cam.
Personal hit for sure.
Huh? It was a little personal because at the end he even kind of admitted it was a little personal. We've been sitting watching this guy for a couple of years, and obviously he's upset with him. And Cam responded. I don't got his response on digits, but he responded and said he understood what Jeff Garcia was saying. Well, I'm gonna be the first to say I don't understand what Jeff Garcia is saying. And it kind of Cam response, what Jeff Garcia said and Cam response kind of just speaks to the overall point I'm trying to make where I just feel like, with black athletes, especially in the NFL, quarterbacks, guys of any type of stature, they want to nitpick and make them company men. And then those same athletes feel like they got to respond then with the company man answer.
Right.
Instead of, Jeff Garcia got his head popping on TV and shit. And Cam Newton, because of how just the narrative and the things they throw at our black athletes, he got to kind of sit back, be humble. Oh, yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying about my clothes. No, the fuck I don't, actually. What are you saying about my clothes?
Right. I mean, I'm still a firm believer.
Right.
You look good, you play good. Sometimes, that can not go the way you planned on having it. But I think it comes with a lot of confidence factor. Like, I'm going to be the guy that when I walk in the building, I'm sharp, I look good, I'm ready to suit up, get with my guys. I'm gonna be a representation of the organization. So I think that's more of Cam's style, and plus just being a part of the culture overall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think with Jeff is like, you have a bad game. What I'm supposed to not already have, fly.
Yeah, I'm supposed to come the next game looking like shit. No, right. I don't need to comb my hair because I lost last game. Like what?
Like that doesn't make any sense.
I just like for me, and I let you go after this, Bria. I just don't understand what their expectations of prominent black leaders in this athletic community. But I would like to hear your opinion on kind of what you took from that clip.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna give a kind of a blanket statement and say treat Cam, when it comes to his mistakes the same way you would another quarterback who throws 3 interceptions against but you want to call him the great, and he's not benched, and he blows a huge game in Chicago. So, you know what I mean? So I say that to say, I mean, I of course, to whom much is given, much is required, right? And I mean, unfortunately, it comes with the territory. I don't think it's fair, but I don't think we're going to see, it's like at what point do we start to see change? If that makes sense.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I just wish they didn't go so hard on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear.
Okay, yeah. So I wish they wouldn't go so hard on Cam. I think he's a great quarterback. He's from Atlanta, and he went to Westlake High School. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's very close to home. But I don't know, man. I just feel like it's unfortunate, but because they're in that position, the quarterback is a go-to position. That sorry, guys. That is a go-to position. That it is what it is, unfortunately.
And I salute Belichick for still saying that, Cam is still their guy. It's not like it's over. You know what I mean? So
right.
I just hate how they kind of handle.
You, Jeff.
I just hate how they handle black quarterbacks. Like, I don't see another like this. The leash that we have is like, how many starting quarterbacks? Like, if this is your guy, how many starting quarterbacks do we see get benched? No matter how terrible they're playing. I'm like, when do we?
I think it happens. It's just really not often, unless they're like already.
Yeah,
tanking.
I mean, you're not gonna see Aaron Rodgers get benched or Tom Brady get benched, but I think
he played like shit last week. Aaron Rodgers absolutely got destroyed. He played terrible. It was never a thought that Aaron Rodgers was ever gonna be benched. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, it's just like, for me, it just really happens too frequently. For me, it bothers me.
But in the defense, I think Belichick did do that to Brady before, and that's how we got to see Garoppolo.
No, he got hurt. No, that's Brady. Yeah, Brady was just hurt. Okay. Oh no, Brady didn't touch that bench.
Was it her or was it the plate game?
It was the suspensions. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, and that's how Jacoby Brissett got the go.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how it went. Let me see. John Wall. Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh my. He is such a. It just seemed like John Wall keep making my show. First, he throwing gang signs up at the party. Coach, man, you need to be getting right. Then he on ESPN talking sports, playing spades. Then you in the season. Now you finally want to do what you supposed to do. This is what you do for a living, play basketball. I'm sure if you're getting paid $40 million plus next year to play basketball, and the first time I see him play basketball, he got Michael Beasley, a guy who hadn't played a meaningful NBA minute in years, in his chest, sliding with him. I'm not John Wall. I'm not impressed with what I see, but you haven't impressed. Also, what was that? Was it the ESPYs when he came up there and introduced Bradley Beal? Whatever that was, he destroyed John Wall. Tighten up, fella. I don't know what's going on with John Wall, but
Jonathan
he is finna be the second member of my all Dwayne Bacon team. And Bria, I don't know if you know. Do you know Dwayne Bacon?
Yes, that plays in Charlotte.
I hope what I'm finna say, I hope if that's your boy, just cover your ears. But Dwayne Bacon, he is stealing money from the National Basketball Association. And John Wall, you about to join the Dwayne Bacon all theft first team, okay? I need to see more out of John Wall, man.
You got to get out of Washington.
What you feel about John Wall and just kind of his pandemic behavior?
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think John Wall just needs to get back to playing basketball, surround himself with more basketball-minded people. I've always said I believe that. I don't really feel like he's had like any vets that he's played around. You know, he came in and was that guy in Washington, and he's been that guy. You know, I mean, I can't think of. I mean, you say Bradley Beal. I don't. You know, people say like, oh, he's got his 1-2 combo, but I don't feel like he's had a vet to really develop him. For example, I don't feel like LeBron became LeBron until he went to Miami and won a championship with D Wade. You know, it was around Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. You know, so I'm saying he had those players to develop him that had those winning. You know, understood what it was like to win. You know, and so you got to think John Wall did 1 year. You know, and then was that guy. So, you know, I think he needs a vet around him. I think we'll really see John Wall reach another level of John Wall.
I can agree to that.
Do you think John Wall gonna come back and be anything close to the John Wall we last saw play? Just a prediction.
I feel like John Wall was gonna have that Derrick Rose approach, like that kind of chip on his shoulder. Like he's got something to prove, you know, because again, it's like your legacy starts to ride on this. Like D Rose, you know, he went from Chicago and you know, like I think, you know, his bounce back was Minnesota in that 50-point game that he had. You know, I feel like that kind of recreated his legacy. So I think the same thing with John Wall. Like he's just got to get back in the momentum, get a groove back. I mean, he hasn't played basketball almost a year and a half, 2 years. You know, just from injury
and I saw they were talking about he's shooting the ball a lot better. That's the main thing. Like I guess shooting was his problem. It's more of a slasher type.
So he gonna definitely, because you know, just because his foot was the first problem, then it went from his foot to an Achilles. So just knowing them two injuries, you know he's gonna be a step slower. So like you say, I think you might be right where this gonna be his time to kind of he going to reinvent his game, and like you say, he's going to prove he can still hoop, and he got a lot of money. He got a lot of money getting paid to him, so he's gonna have a lot of.
Right, you got a lot of dollars sitting behind. Yeah, absolutely.
Them dollar bills gonna definitely have to either motivate him or the team gonna hey yo.
Maybe that's why you can't get nobody there.
You said what?
Maybe that's why you can't get nobody there. Check is heavy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That Washington Wizards team, they scrapped over there. So in the world of culture, Rudy Giuliani got caught doing some I'll say political behavior. He got caught doing some quite political behavior. Ben, you know what happened?
Yeah, it was something about the way he was like positioning himself on set. It was funny because it was like I had to do it.
The way that he
positioned himself on set. Definitely seemed like a little sexual harassment kind of issue going on there.
So for the listeners, Borat, and I didn't know this actually. So this actually has now got me into Borat. But Borat is a what is it, mockumentary? Is that what they call them? Well, I think it's a mockumentary pretty much where they go and they try to prank politicians. And they just do things and put them in compromising positions and do it. So Rudy Giuliani, the main actor, his daughter is playing his daughter in the movie, but she's playing a 15-year-old. She's 24 years old. And she does this interview with Rudy, this fake interview. They schedule an interview, do the interview. And then after the interview, she invites him back to the room. And, you know, we get back there. My boy thought it was go time. You know what I mean? He thought he was back in college. He was stumbling back to the dorm. And he go straight for, he go for the kill. He lay down. And in my opinion, he get to doing a little too much. He comes out and says he's tucking in his shirt. What did you see, Ben and Bria? What did y'all see in that situation? Then did you see the situation as far as Rudy Giuliani in the Borat movie?
I can't speak on it, no idea, but I'll let Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the clip. I mean, I guess it's discretionary in a sense. Like it didn't look, or maybe the clip I saw, it didn't play out as long, so it didn't look as like the meaning. It just looks like, it's something could have been going on there, so it's real iffy. And then just based off the woman's response, it looks like it could have been like if she was in the case of where it was something that went on, the way she worded it and the way in her interview kind of seems like maybe she could have been paid off or maybe it was swept under the rug type of thing. So I don't know, but it definitely seems a little fishy right there.
Yeah. Well, Bria, you didn't see the clip. I tell you to go look at it. It's a little disturbing, but it's kind of like, what's going on here? But pretty much Rudy kind of got put in a compromising position where they tried to prank him and like, at interview's over, let's go into because it's like a hotel room, let's go into the room and talk a little more. Mm-hmm. So he kind of got a little comfortable, helped her take her mic off, and then he sat on the bed and kind of just laid back, and his hands went in his pants. And then, at that point, the dude, the Borat character, his daughter, that's his daughter in real life, he kind of steps in like, whoa, chill, it's a prank. And then Rudy Giuliani came out and pretty much said like they misrepresented the situation and he was just kind of adjusting his shirt while laying back on the bed. Real political behavior.
Yeah. Let's switch gears real quick.
Switch gears, young.
Yeah. How you feel about Odell getting banned from LSU, being that you from Louisiana?
Odell put LSU in a real compromising position right there. It sucks because Justin Jefferson, the person he gave the money to, never probably stepped foot back on LSU campus after that. But when you just kind of put money into a player's hand on national television right in front of the cameras, it's a bad look. But I also do think that LSU is using him as a scapegoat because they're self-sanctioning themselves for infractions, and there are definitely a list of infractions on that list that have nothing to do with Odell Beckham. But by banning him, I feel like it puts a face to the problem.
Gotcha.
Even though, now the problem is definitely written out. Like, if you go do your research, you'll see all the infractions that they're self-penalizing themselves for. Mm-hmm. But I think because of narrative and how they kind of presented it, I think Odell is definitely taken and fallen on the sword for LSU. Yep. So I don't know. I don't like that you will put your alum in that position, because I think the institution can bounce back a lot more than a individual. Mm-hmm. So I would have felt like if, as an alum, they would have did more to protect his image and his name.
Yeah, and at the same time, wrong place, wrong timing. Definitely,
absolutely.
Don't put the money in the hands right after the win.
Yeah, it's always a level of responsibility in everything. That's why I say he put him in a compromised position where they were able to get him. My dad always told me, don't let him get you. Yeah, he let him get him.
Yeah, for sure. And then shout out to OBJ. Hope he gets well.
Oh yeah,
so
didn't he?
Very
tough week.
Very unfortunate that ACL tear.
How you feel about the money situation? And obviously the ACL is just you don't wish the injury on anybody, so missing a season the same week you find out, your institution kind of threw you under the bus. Right. Really rough week. How you feel about Odell Beckham Jr.'s week?
This is one of my topics I'll talk about tonight. But it's unfortunate, Odell, let's take it back a little bit farther. I mean, Odell was asked about the whole COVID situation. He said, me and COVID have, we have a understanding relationship that COVID's not going to get this body, right? Yeah. He put that out there. Right. Then we saw the suspension fall down, and then we saw the ACL. So my thing is just definitely prayers up to him, get well soon, but it was a tough week and a half for him. You go back to that right there. But I mean, I think that he'll bounce back. ACL injury, thank God I never had one, knock on wood. But it's not, you see players bounce back a lot quicker from them than what we did, 10, 15 years ago. So and he's got the most elite training facilities and access to doctors and stuff. So, I think he's going to come back bigger, better, faster, stronger. And, I think this might have been like a humbling thing. Although, I think him going to Cleveland was a humbling thing.
Yeah. I think he wants out for sure. I mean, it probably was cool, to be there with one of your best friends and Landry. Things, yeah, things like that. But then get on the field and you're not necessarily getting the production you want. It's not like y'all having you're not having a bad season, but you're not really involved in the process of those games and winning those games. And it's just very unfortunate that, Baker put you in a bad position and then, ball gets intercepted and then you do what you need to do to, try to help your team to try to make the tackle. And then very unfortunate, your knee buckled. But But like, as you said though, I was in college and I realized like these ACL tears and stuff like that, like people rehab a lot quicker. It's the turnaround is quicker than what people really think in the recovery rate.
Yeah, definitely. Modern sports medicine, man, has made bouncing back from injuries. Like you got KD coming back from Achilles injuries, and we ain't even, most people aren't even doubting the fact that he'll, recover at least, 80, 90%, and he gonna be, the Kevin Durant that we used to see, back in the day, man. You tear your ACL. I remember back, when I first started playing sports, the ACL tear was almost a career-ending injury. You know what I'm saying?
With no coming back at all.
Yeah, like somebody tore their ACL, you like, they done. Now somebody tore the ACL. We see you in 6 months.
Right.
See you in 6 months. But one more thing.
And it seems like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh no! That's what I just said. I think it seems like it's been expedited. Just with the ACL and everything now.
Right. Damn! I just lost my track. I just literally lost my train of thought. Help me out, Ben. Say something. I literally just went blank. I saw a text. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I go this way. Boxing.
There we go.
There
we go.
Davis.
Save me.
Gervonta Davis Saturday against Leo Santa Cruz. So I think this is definitely going to be for Cruz. It's definitely a highlight of his career, being like his first time fighting on pay-per-view. Probably one of the wealthiest fights he'll be engaged in. I love what Floyd is doing with the camp as far as as Tank being his protege, leading the way, showing him how to get that revenue, how to be dominant in the sport itself. So I think Saturday I'm looking for a big win out of Tank. I'm Team Mayweather all the way. Everybody underneath their banner, I'm gonna ride with them. So it's hard to go. I agree. It's hard to go against the money man.
All right, we got it. We got to let Bria go. Bria, before you go, who you got for the fight this weekend? Gervonta or Santa Cruz? Tank. I was listening to a lot of people told me that he pick and choose and he hadn't fought the best fighter, so I'm gonna definitely tap into that fight and see him.
A good fight for sure.
But let's break it down, Bria. I appreciate you wholeheartedly for coming through, tapping in with us and sharing some gems with us, and putting us on game and shining light on what you beautiful women got going over there on y'all side. Definitely gonna keep bringing people and telling people to tap in what y'all got going on. Make sure y'all go out there and follow them on all social media platforms. Made for the W, madeforthew.com. And anything else you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
Yeah, two things. First of all, I want to thank you all for having me on your platform. I really love what you guys are doing, the conversation that you guys are having from one creator to another.
Thank you.
If I could offer a piece of advice, it's just, don't stop, keep going, and you guys truly are living your ancestors' wildest dreams, so, in those days that you don't feel like getting up and doing what you're doing, just continue to do what you're doing, because it's a beautiful product that comes from it. So again, thank you guys for having me. As far as like kind of last thoughts, make sure you follow Made for the W on all social media platforms, as you mentioned. Follow me. I am Bria Janelle on all social media. So that's IAM. Bria Janelle, Janelle. So follow me there. That's all my sports stuff that you can keep up with as far as like on the NBA side. And I'm a cool little, hosting things that I get to do. And the last thing is make sure you tune in to Hot 107.9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am the first and only woman in the country that does a sports segment on a hip hop show, which we have the number one night show in the city and the number one syndicated show from 6 to 10, or 7 to midnight. So
come on, let's go. Make sure now. Look, now I'm back. I ain't listened to the radio in a long time, but I'm gonna be on the radio Tuesdays and Thursdays. Make sure they know. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate the kind words. Make sure y'all tap in, like she said. Just continue to support everybody. I'm gonna keep reaching out. I'm gonna tap in now. You're gonna probably get tired of me because I'm gonna be focused. I'm gonna be locked in. You're gonna be seeing me pop up. Make sure y'all follow us all. Can Will made it. Make sure you follow my boy VH1 Miller on social media, man. HasBeens Podcast. Oh, you got one?
Gotta make a correction. I did change from VH1. I am now being Bugatti 3. I am Ben Bugatti.
Ben Bugatti 3.
I am Ben
He is
Bugatti
now
3.
classy. He has stepped his game up. He is from VH1 to the Bugattis. And make sure y'all go out there and vote, man. I voted today. I drove 2 hours.
I did mail in.
I drove 2 hours a day to go vote. I waited an hour in line. So make sure y'all get out there and vote early. And make sure y'all get out there on November 3rd and vote, man. Because y'all know I can't tell you I'm in a bad contract, but we got to handle some business and get somebody out of there. HasBeens Podcast, episode 10, man. We are.
Quick. Let me add this. If you do, hey, I got to because if voting is very
Go ahead.
important. If you do the
If you got to drop, Bria, you can go ahead and go.
If you gotta
We appreciate you.
If you gotta do your mail-in ballots, please take them to the post office so they can be stamped. They cannot refuse those.
You said what now?
Bye, guys. Again,
See,
thank you. Sorry
you.
to interrupt.
Thank you.
All right, you take it easy.
Tonight, Hot 107 tonight.
Okay, we going to tap in to Hot 107
Appreciate
tonight.
you guys.
For sure.
I'll meet you there.
All right, bye, guys.
All right.
Peace.
But yeah, definitely. For all y'all that do the mail-in ballots, take them to the post office so they can be stamped by the post office.
Oh, my
You cannot
gosh.
refuse those.
Oh, my gosh.
I know what you wanted.
What?
Don't tell me that.
Oh, what?
What happened?
I messed up a little bit. I think this is terrible. Bria going to be mad. Well, I don't know if she's going to be mad because the audio is there, but it definitely didn't record.
Oh, wow.
It didn't record. That's terrible. Bria, I'm sorry.
Bree.
The audio is here,
Right.
but they just botched her video. It's okay.
We're going to figure it out.
Oh, no, it's over. It's over.
Houston, we have a problem.
My feelings hurt. It's always some HasBeens Podcast, episode 10. It's been real hard. It's always some type of mechanical malfunction in here.
Hey, man.
It's okay.
It's 2020, so we just going to keep pressing on.
We're going to keep pressing on HasBeens Podcast, episode 10.
That's right.
This is your hurt host, Cam Will.
Hey, man, we your boy Ben Bugatti. We in here.
I'm out.